Rocky had traveled basically to other places before. It's something that's not in the film. He lived in LA for a little bit. He almost moved to Alaska. He lived in Arizona for a while doing graphic design. He lived on the road with his uncle changing out light bulbs in pharmacies, and it just seemed like he kept trying to find what worked, and he always came back to Pittsburgh, but this time was the longest he had left. He didn't seem like he was coming back, and he wasn't giving me any signs of coming back, and so I felt it was different, and I wanted to see it. My mom was nervous. Their impression was that it was very dangerous and anything could happen. My family's very different than Rocky's. You see his family on camera. My family's a lot closer. So they were concerned. My dad was concerned. My stepmom was concerned. My mom was concerned. So, but they were supportive. My grandma, she gave me a little donation to help with the kids, and they were supportive. On my way to India, on my second leg of the trip from Dubai to Chennai, I had gotten this free upgrade to business class. So I'm like sitting there, get on the plane, there's champagne, warm nuts, and people are bringing me stuff, and all I could think was, going from that to straight to this dingy hospital. It was just such a contrast, it's just difficult. I mean, they weren't that clean. There was just nothing around. It was really strange. It was a very bare hospital. People around in the other beds were coughing and basically dying. At one point, we walked past a room, and there was a man. He was just dead, and he was in there for hours, and he was frozen in this position that he was like sitting up. It was horrifying. Yeah. And Surya's in the middle of all this, and it was just challenging, completely challenging. When we got the call, my wife and I hung up the phone and we just broke down because we knew Surya, and we had developed, not just him, we knew all the kids. If it had been any kid, I feel like I would have felt the same. But Surya was especially like clingy, and was really interested in what we were doing and filmmaking and stuff, and wanted to help us, and he was always willing to pick stuff up, whatever. He was just always there. I had actually been encouraging him for a long time to get an HIV test, and he was like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." But especially after everything happened with Surya, there was one point where Surya had to go to the bathroom, and he hadn't gone to the bathroom for days, and Rocky grabbed him and like carried him into the area so he could, privately go. Right. And he set him down, and he pulled his arm away, and a piece of Surya's skin on his back came off onto Rocky's arm. And he said he just freaked out. He went up and started washing. He's like, "I'm too close to this. I'm too close to this." I was trying to get him to come in for our release and stuff, but he sat down with the kids and basically gave them the option because he had traveled a lot this year, and it was affecting his relationships with them, and he could sense the kids were kind of getting insecure, and he basically said, "If it's up to you guys, Nimi and I will go. But if you don't want us to go, then we'll stay." And they wanted him to stay. He was like, "Are you sure? I'll get Christmas toys and all this stuff." But they were like, "No, we want you to stay." So he stayed. Some of the plans we have are building halfway homes for the kids that age out, because they're institutionalized and not really prepared to be independent. So we want to give them a subsidized rent. We're going to be starting small businesses that they can operate. That's our initial plan with the money from the film. And all the proceeds, all the filmmaker proceeds are going to that.